Hi everyone, it's Promise Adorane. All right, so quick one today. Just want to speak to the issue of the tax reform that is still going on, the debate. Um, I watched the Shimole yesterday, speaking to Shewa Kimbaloye, and was trying to state that the tax reform bills, you know, um, although majority of it is okay, but the issue of the VAT should be collected by the state governors. So this is what I think, right? I think that the problem we have with our democracy in Nigeria is the issue of trust. Do you remember when Peter Obi was saying how he got to decide to go into politics? When he was speaking to that professor at Kellogg, who took him by the waterside and was having a conversation between the naira and dollar, which one would he choose? And he chose the dollar 3 times. And that was because of trust. Now, he said, nobody is going to invest in you if you do not have faith in yourself or have trust or have hope. The countries are built on hope. Now, most Nigerians don't have any hope in Nigeria, and that's why they want to go abroad. They want to live elsewhere. Common Ghana or even Kenyan currency is way higher than the naira. And that speaks volume to how much belief system we have in ourselves. We are well traveled, nothing wrong against that, but a lot of people, no matter how bad their countries are, they stay at home and build their country. And that's the difference between countries that have hope in their system, in themselves, and countries that really don't have any trust in themselves. They just want to japa, they just want to live. Now, speaking to the fact, democracy that we practice is usually, we practice something little different to America and little different to the UK. It's kind of unique. But I think we should start tilting more to UK system of democracy. And the reason I say this is that the UK is more tailored. The UK style of democracy is more tailored to what we have in Nigeria. Because in the United Kingdom, you have 4 countries coming together and also parliamentary system of government. So you've got the federal, which is what I would like to call the United Kingdom, right? Of Great Britain. But then under that, you have England, you have Wales, you have Scotland, you have Northern Ireland. Now, there's some level of power that is devolved to these countries, so to speak, or sub-countries, right? And they manage some aspects of their politics, things like education or even, different sort of things. They have some power to a certain level. And then there's some power that is just peculiar to the federal. Then you have the states, which we call counties. So you have counties, which is equal to states. But then you have the councils, and councils are actually local government. So when it comes to this tax thing, right, because Oshimole was talking about it, how different countries, and actually everybody have agreed that it's a very brilliant idea and whatever. And for us to have a strong democracy and economy, we don't need to be talking about Nigerian government money. There's no government money. It's taxpayers' money. But because our tax is not robust and agencies feel like, oh, this money is for us, they don't care about where they get it from. So they just loot it. But when you have a very comprehensive and solid tax reform, it will help people to understand that if you eat any money, you are eating taxpayers' money. You understand? If you eat any money, you're not eating government's money. There is no government money. It's the people's money. And that's why people will not forgive anybody that steals public money, public funds. So the tax reform, everybody's on page that is a brilliant idea, but it's how to make sure that it works. Now, this is it. Like, remember I told you, like, we should be going or tilting more to the UK side of democracy, right? And this is why I say that. In Nigeria, we used to have regional government before the military came in. And I think when it comes to this tax level, we need to have things similar to the NI or similar to the social security number, which is what the NIMC, the name is supposed to be for all Nigerians. And that will help us to capture everybody's, especially linking it to our health record and stuff. And then also using it for this tax thing. Now, this is where the thinking of it, and the Shimola keep mentioning that he wants us to have intelligent debate. So this is where the angle I'm coming from, thinking about all these things through. In America, you pay federal and state tax. Same applies in Canada. Now in the UK here, we pay NI, which is what covers you going to NHS, free health. Even if you need ambulance, you'll be free. Then you have HMRC, which is Her Majesty or His Majesty Royal Revenue and Custom, going straight to the federal from source, from your pay slip. Then you have one that you have to pay. It doesn't go from your source, but you still have to pay it to the local council. So the state is exempted. So there is no county. It is more like it is a concept, not a concept. There is a place. You know you're in a state. If you're in a particular locality, you know it is in this county. But there is no government on the state level, so to speak. So what you have is you have the UK central government, and then you have your local government. So essentially, politicians always say, oh, politics is local, politics is local. But when it comes to tax, they want to make politics to then be federal. I don't know if I'm making sense. Fuck allocation. But then when it comes to election, you remember politics is local. So politics is local both in getting money and in implementing money. So if the road in my street is not good, I can write a petition simply to my mayor and he will fix that road, right? If you don't pick my bean, I can write to the council, my local government, and they'll come and pick my bean or give me bean bag or whatever. So implementation and running of governance is through the local government. So this is it. The state governors that are agitating might have a point with VAT or whatever, because local businesses need to pay tax. In the UK here, you pay tax once a year, but you still have to pay tax. With this tax bill, because of the nature of the economy now, a lot of people are exempted, and they are different people are sharing different opinions. Even Shegun was on channels also was saying, you know, was it Shegun or first? I think it was this guy, the TUC leader Festus, that was saying, oh, maybe we need to increase it from 800,000 to 3 million. Now, whatever the case is, remember, you can be exempted, even exempted from paying main tax if you're paying minimum wage in the UK. But also, if you have a business and you are below some threshold, you don't pay. But then when you are above that threshold, you still have to pay. So a robust system of how to declare assets, because a lot of people, so say for example, in the UK here, you have more workers, you have more people that are on the system that earn money through their bank accounts. So it is easy for you to monitor them than people who are doing business. I hope I'm correct, don't quote me. But in Nigeria, you have more businesses than people who are earning money through the system or electronically. Although businesses do business through banks, but then there's a lot of cash, you know, exchanging hands in Nigeria. So how do you manage that in terms of this bill? These are the things that this bill is supposed to sort of, you know, these are what I expect the Senate to debate more on and get it right. But coming to who should be collecting money, for those people who are paying through electronically, and especially most of these people that give us the big bulk taxes like MTN, like all the oil companies, we're supposed to be paying two tax. You pay one to the federal government of Nigeria, right? Then you pay one to the local government. Since Tinubu have actually gone the length of implementing one of the very, you know, the one I would say I'm very proud of him for achieving is the local government autonomy. Then he should use that same local government to implement getting money locally, because every company is going to be situated in a hectare of land that is in a local government. Does that make sense? So it's supposed to be local government and federal government. So all these state governors are supposed to go and sit down. They're supposed to go and actually implement. And when I'm talking about paying to local government, I don't mean this aboro on the streets. I don't mean these street urchins that are disturbing people that are selling pure water. That should be stopped, because the tax exemption applies to those people who are earning below 800 as it is if the bill is signed. So that means nobody should be disturbing nobody. No aboro, nobody. Now, those people that are turning over more than some certain amounts, I think it was 25 million a year or whatever that they have in that bill, there should be a better technology-driven way. I mean, you can't be turning over 25 million and not use the bank account, right? So there should be a robust system that the NIBSC SSC system can be used to adopt this approach to tax them. And then the federal government is saying that the states, which I don't think should be the state, and they say the local government don't have that system. Yes, even if they don't have that system, maybe they should have another system for local governments, maybe also managed superiorly by the federal government, but give them some sort of access level for them to be able to collect and collate this tax on the local government level. Because if local governments are doing this perfectly, then the 774 local governments could be collecting tax locally, and then federal government. Now remember, for every business, you pay the two. You pay to federal government and you pay to local government. That will help, because local government will know what the business is anyway, to make sure that nobody is missed. And at the same time, they can also be on the same infrastructure or the same platform, but then they will have a federal government system and also have a local government system. Local government will collect their own, federal government, but then you will have the same database of whoever. That's how to build data. Every business, everybody in Nigeria will be paying tax, and everything will be transparent. So it makes sense if we can adopt this UK system, right? That's why you have HMRC, but you also have council tax. So council tax, everybody pays. They look after some things that they look after. Then you also pay federal tax. These are things that I expect that this bill should be able to. And if we have not actually afforded this or planned this, then we should do. Now, there's a point that Oshimole raised, that somebody else raised, that if you live in Ogun State and you're working in Lagos, you're paying your tax to Ogun State, which is your place of residence. And that is actually true in the UK. So I live where I live, but I work remotely. My work office is probably 4 hours away. Now, why do I have to pay tax to apart from the federal tax that I pay, which is my HMRC tax, why do I still pay my local tax? I pay my local tax because they are the ones that collect my bin, right? My electricity, my gas, my community, whatever, what they call service charge and whatever, is local. If I want to use the local store or whatever, I will drive on this local road. So a lot of things are local to me. My children go to local schools, all those kind of things. If I need hospital, I will go to my local hospital. So that's why you pay tax to your local government. And people shouldn't see that, oh, you are taking my money and you are giving to a different state. It is the same Nigeria. And one thing that I like Oshimole was saying is that he doesn't want to discuss the issue from a regional standpoint or from that every Nigerian is Nigerian. And I like that mentality. If it can be applied across board, it will make sense. Because all this business or talks about North versus South is getting too annoying, to say the least. So these are my contributions. And I believe if we start implementing this, if we get this right, this will be a very good foundation. Remember in my last topic or in my last video, I was saying that I was mentioning how Winston Churchill helped the UK, how Abraham Lincoln helped America and stuff like that. So this might be what could change Nigeria for the betterment of Nigerians going forward. And I think if we can get this right, that will solve a whole lot of issues that borders on economic derivatives, so that when we are getting this tax, it will be our primary source of income. Then oil money will be added value. Gas money, like Tinubu went to see the German president came to Nigeria, gas money will be added on top of the oil money and the tax, and then the resource from gold and other minerals will be added. Nigeria should easily be a rich country. And the last thing I want to speak to is this matter of free zone. There's a lot of free zone. I saw that I saw a news post that ABAUD said they want to make their university a free zone. That's Afebolola University, and that's the guy that sort of took Dele Farotimi in. We're still waiting for the court processes to start and finish. I mean, I know Dele Farotimi is a well-respected lawyer, that he can't just speak without having facts, right? That's his bread and butter, so he should be able to defend himself when it comes to that. So he know what he got himself into. But why that is said, why are you trying to make a university a free trade zone? We are the poverty capital of the world. All this free zone business should be removed. Because like Oshimole said, you take a helicopter, land in the free trade zone, do your economic activities, and you move back to where you live. Does that mean you're exempted from paying tax where you live? Does that mean your company is because this is what big companies do in the world. All these big banks, they go to islands where there is no tax, tax havens, they call it, and do business, and they don't get any tax. They don't pay any tax, but then the masses will be paying tax, and that's not fair. So I don't think anybody in Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world, should give this free zone thing needs to be reversed and relooked at. That is my own understanding. People should be able to pay tax. Even if the company don't pay tax, what of the individual, the CEO, whatever, they should also pay tax. And they should pay good amount of money as tax, because Nigeria is a poor country and should not be giving anybody any exemption as it is, except Nigerians who are suffering. Thank you.